This really hits kind of personal with me because there's been some new evidence that's been discovered in this horrific case of this poor young woman who was brutally unalived by, you guessed it, a multiple prior arrest, let out of jail felon by a corrupt Democrat judge in a corrupt blue run Democrat city. But this is emblematic of something larger, America. This is a very, this video really comes straight from my gut and my heart because I've experienced it firsthand. And I know what you're thinking. What in the world do you mean, Nez? Let me explain. I want you to take a good look at all of those headshots because they are exactly the same individual. This happened last week on the Blue Line train in Chicago. Lawrence Reed, 50-year-old, was initially thought to have only 49. I say only, which is just tragic. Only 49 prior arrests. It's now been discovered he had over 70, and he committed a horrific act on Bethany McGee, who you see centered in your screen, by dousing her in gasoline on the train in Chicago, lighting a match, and setting her ablaze. This is the judge, Judge Teresa Molina Gonzalez, who denied the prosecutor petition to detain Lawrence Reed after his 49th arrest. She released him into the public where he set an innocent woman on fire. That is not a typo, ladies and gentlemen. That is not an error. That is not a mistake. You read that correctly. He set this poor young girl ablaze. She was actually quoted as saying, this Democrat judge, I can't just keep people locked up because a state's attorney wants me to. Those were her direct quote. This is 26-year-old Bethany McGee. And the new evidence that I'm talking about was just discovered on her Facebook page. Check this out. This was discovered on her Facebook page just recently. She had a Black Lives Matter sort of, this is what you can do. You can kind of add these sort of holograms to your Facebook profile photos, which is indicative that she was, yes, you guessed it, probably radically liberal, radically Democrat, and radicalized in the same institutions that I taught at. So you might be asking yourself, why does this keep happening? Because it's happening a lot. We saw what happened to Irina Zarutska on that fateful day on that subway train in New York City, and it's happening 95%. And of course, Blue Run Sanctuary City. Sanctuary City, the very phrase sanctuary is so horrifically offensive, literally just giving a free pass to criminals. Come into our city and go ahead and cause bedlam. Nobody's going to stop you. That's essentially what a sanctuary city is. You may be asking yourself, why, Nez? Why does this keep happening? Well, this is a deep-seated, architected plan. This is their plan. You may say this is isolated. You may say this is just incidental. You may say maybe it's just based on race. Maybe it's just based on, corrupt criminal justice system. Maybe there's bribery. Yes, of course, there could be all of that. However, you cannot escape the fact that not only are we seeing a more radicalized population of younger people in our country, and I've seen this firsthand teaching at the university because literally DEI woke ideology started creeping in, eking their way into the curriculum, into the nomenclature around the same time that I started teaching at the university and around the same time that Barack Obama became president. I don't know about you, but I feel like you could almost take the new millennium into two epochs, pre-Obama and post-Obama. Pre-Obama, I feel like racial tension, I feel like that kind of animus and talk. And I mean, of course, there's always been racism. There's always been race, but I don't feel like the flames were stoked as high or at least as potent as they were post-Obama. And I can tell you firsthand, just from my own eyes, ears, and experience, what they are throwing down the brains of our young people every single day in these universities. They're teaching them to vilify success, vilify billionaires, vilify capitalism, vilify white people, especially rich white people. They're teaching them, and it's not really teaching, it's indoctrinating our young people supplanting this idea that Marxist communist ideologies, which, by the way, sound great on paper. Let's get rid of the class system. Let's have everybody live in this utopian kumbaya. Everybody share. It's just not, it's never been successful for a reason, because it doesn't take into account the human condition. Human beings are driven, all behavior is driven by incentives. You take those incentives away and it becomes pure, utter chaos. But they don't tell our young people that. They don't teach our young people that. So this is a 3-tier system. It starts while they're young. They groom them in these indoctrination camps. Hate white people, hate the system, hate capitalism, hate billionaires, hate everybody who literally create the jobs, create the economies, create and defend our borders. They're the people that you want to call when God forbid something bad happens to you or your family. They're the ones who generate the most tax revenue so we can fix roads and do everything that we need to do to have a good society. So they teach them all of that, right? Then what they do is they pump them full of propaganda through the woke media apparatus. They compound all of those ideologies they grew up believing, all the pollution, through the woke media, so that they can enact their plan, which is open the borders, provide accelerated citizenship, doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter how much mortal harm they cause to Americans. They want to get their voters in. They're importing their voters at the consequence of you and me. This is the 3-tier system. So there's a really good reason why there's no voter ID registration in every single state that Kamala won. She didn't win one single state, everybody, that required voter ID. Think about that. Trump is right. We get rid of the filibuster. We make election day a national holiday, must have voter ID. I mean, this is as common sense as it gets. You need an ID to get on a plane. You need an ID to buy a beverage. You need an ID to check into a hotel. This is a no-brainer. Anybody who votes against not having an ID when you carry out your most sacred civic obligation, which has innumerable consequences on your whole community, such as casting a vote, anybody who's against that is cheating. Pure and simple. They believe in cheating, and that's it. They just want to retain their power. And now you've got this ridiculous Swallowswell who just announced he's going to run for governor for my home state, as if it wasn't bad enough that we had Newsom throw this golden state into the toilet. This guy, and the first thing that he proposes, listen carefully.
I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
vote by phone.
Vote by phone. Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online, you should be able to vote by phone.
Vote by phone. This is the same guy who does not want any voter ID. This is the same guy who advocates for paper ballots. This is the same guy who denounces Trump every second he gets. This is the same party that does not want common sense principles or common sense legislation when it comes to voting. This is the same party that is guilty for 2020, because there's no way in a billion years you will ever convince me that Vegetable in Chief got 15 to 20 million more votes than the Black Messiah, Obama. Not in a billion years. And now he wants you to vote by telephone. They want to reduce the voter age to 16. Do you see the pattern, folks? Do you see what's going on here, folks? I want to share this quote from Adam Smith. Mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. The reason the Democrats fight tooth and nail for criminal aliens, illegals, the reason they fight law enforcement officers who are literally just carrying out their duty, the reason why they hate Trump is because he's actually caring about the innocent. He's focusing on the innocent, not the criminals. Check out what he said about the compounding crime and riots that happened in Chicago. Trump just posted this saying massive crime and rioting in the Chicago Loop area. Multiple police officers attacked and badly injured. 300 people rioting, 6 victims shot, 1 critical, 1 dead. In the meantime, Governor Pritzker and the low IQ mayor of Chicago are refusing federal government help for a situation that could be quickly remedied. The people are chanting, bring in Trump. Somebody asked me a question the other day, Professor Nez, are you optimistic about America? You better believe it. And nothing cemented that optimism more than what happened on November 5th, 2024, when you and me made the correct choice of this commander-in-chief to lead our country back to the promised land, away from the insidious, ghoulish, anti-American, anti-constitutional, cheating, lying, degenerate Democrats. There's only one reason that you would vote against voter ID. There's only one reason you would fly all the way to another country to expend taxpayer dollars, all your energy and resources to fight for a literal criminal illegal. There's only one reason you would go on every single news program and advocate and use this kind of language that they're sweeping innocent citizens, brown and black, in unmarked vehicles wearing masks, vilifying law enforcement officers. There's only one reason. It's because they're scared to death that they'll never win another election again. And you and I can keep that fear alive, because if they take power again, they're going to do it all over again. What happened during the dark years of Biden and Kamala? I can't even imagine. I think every single day, I can honestly say this, every single day, I wake up and I thank God that Kamala is not our president. I can't imagine where our country would be if she actually cheated hard enough and won. My fellow Americans, get this video out to more people. Tap the thumbs up, share it with everybody, leave a comment down below. Let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. I love hearing from you guys, but share this. We need to educate our citizens. Let them know this is what they're trying to do. This is exactly what they're trying to do. Vote by phone? Are you kidding me? We have to wake America up, and you can help. I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know what you think down below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.